Peter is a true believer, was a true believer, and he did see.
What's going on? I see your prompt here. You say that there's no God. How do you know that?
I have common sense and I know what a fictional character is like.
So, so do you believe like you evolved? Is that what you believe, that you're a product of natural selection and random mutations?
What does me being a product of that have to do with God not existing?
It has a lot, because the idea that God doesn't exist is something that's a product of your brain, right?
No, sir. It's something that is a product of observing the world as it is rather than how I feel like it should be. If I observe the
Yeah,
world simply as it is, the natural conclusion is that there's no God. That's why none of you who claim that God exists can show us where God is. So
yeah,
anyone who
but
is honest, if you put me in a room and tell me to look for a table, and I look in that room and there's no table, and I come out of that room and you tell me, well, there's really a table in that room, and we go back in there, both of us, and you can't show me the table, bro, that means there's no table in that room. The
so
world,
so
the
you
world is the room. God,
so you're using your brain when you come to that conclusion, right?
just like you use your brain to believe in God. How does using the
Right,
brain? How
right,
is using the
right.
brain
So,
wrong?
yeah, but here's the difference. So the
No,
difference
no, no.
is,
Hold up, hold up, hold up. The brain is the tool. The world is the data. You, your
so
brain
so
is the tool.
I'll go ahead and leave if I can't even get a word in, because I think you're scared of where this is going.
I
That's what
don't
I
know.
think.
Listen,
I think you know where this is going. I think you're
listen.
scared because if your brain is a product of random mutations and evolution, then that means you have physical processes that are non-mental that are causing you to believe what you believe. So the idea of evolution is survival of the fittest. Your brain is a product of survival mechanisms. Therefore, everything you only believe because it helps you to survive. Therefore, you don't have a brain that functions towards truth, but instead functions towards survival. So how do you know you can trust your thoughts when they lead you to the conclusion that there is no God?
Because you can only survive with the truth, and lies will lead you to death.
Okay, if that's true, then why do you have so many people that are surviving just fine that believe in God?
Actually,
As matter of fact,
actually,
as
hold
matter of
up,
fact,
hold up, hold up, hold
there's
up,
longer
hold up,
lifespans
hold
with
up,
Christians.
hold up. People who believe in God don't survive because they believe in God. They survive because ultimately they have to do exactly what the rest of us do: use their brain to see the truth of the world as it is and follow the rules of the world as it is rather than what their religion says. Just like, for example, you believe in God, right? When you're sick, your God doesn't heal you. You still have to go to the hospital like the rest of us to survive, right?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, hold up, hold up, hold up,
that's
hold
assuming
up, hold up, hold
assuming
up,
that God
hold up, hold up, brother,
that's assuming that
hold
God
up,
doesn't
brother.
that's assuming
Stop
that God
interrupting me
doesn't.
earlier. You told me not to interrupt you earlier, right now, right? First of all, let me set the ground rules, and you can leave at any time. You can leave now if you want to. This is my program, right? I'm going to lead the show the way I want to. Respect the fact that it's my program. When you have a chance to speak, speak. If I call upon you to stop speaking and hear what I have to say. If it's consistent with what you were saying, or if it's a question for inquiry, just follow along. If you want to leave now and you can't abide by those rules, you can leave. I'll go on to the next guest. But if you think that you can still communicate your message with me despite the fact that I'm the host, I get to moderate the show. If you think you still have the intelligence, then keep talking. If not, don't do that thing where you guys come up here and I say, hold up, and you just keep talking. You don't do that shit to your pastor in church because it's not your church. It's not your show. All right? I can only respect you as much as you respect me, ultimately. I am greatly in opposition to your religious narrative. And my claim wasn't made in the vacuum. I already know what you believe. You don't know what I believe. You can only assume what I believe. I have the authority that governs your belief right here. I know exactly. It's like you and I, we're going to war, and I know your entire war plan. You don't know mine. You don't know if I believe evolution the way you're thinking about it in your head.
Okay, so yeah, once again, if you believe that you evolved, then your brain is the product of random mutation.
When did I
And
say
if-
that to you? When did I say that to you?
Do you believe in evolution?
I know evolution. It's not a belief.
Okay. All right. Same thing. All right.
No, not same thing. Hold up. What is evolution? Tell me. What do you think evolution is?
Evolution is a change of allele frequencies.
It's a what?
Change of allele frequency.
Can you break down that word allele? I don't know what it means.
Yeah, pretty much. So evolution is the idea, and you can go deeper with if you want to go into cosmic
No, just
evolution.
give me the simple definition. Don't complicate it. People who have a habit of taking simple things and complicating it are either people who are trying to deceive you or people who don't know what they're talking about. Just give me the simple definition of evolution.
Right. So, I mean, whenever people do say stuff like that, it just kind of shows that
Just give me the simple definition of evolution, brother.
Well, it's hard to give a simple definition of
It's
something
not
that's
hard.
very complex.
It's not hard.
Evolution is not a simple thing because different people mean,
if you are skilled enough
people
on the
mean-
subject, you also have the skill to simplify it.
once again, some things need explaining.
No, it
And so
doesn't.
it
Then
does-
keep
it
quiet. Let me
doesn't
tell you.
explain.
Keep quiet. Let me tell you what evolution is in simple terms, and tell me what you disagree about what I say. All right. Evolution is simply how things change from a simple to a complex state. That's
I
it.
disagree.
Okay. Then tell me how something can evolve without changing from a simple state to a complex state.
Right. So whenever you talk about evolution, there are different things that people can be referring to. Some people can just be simply referring to how one thing actually loses information.
That's devolution.
Listen, if you listen.
Things can devolve. No, sir. I can't. Listen, it's not that I'm stupid, bro. I'm also knowledgeable on the subject. You can't gaslight me with a bunch of words that you don't understand. Evolution is how things go from a simple state to a complex state. Tell me how something can evolve.
Do evolutionists believe that humans are evolving?
All things evolve.
Right. So do they believe that all things are evolving right now?
Yes, and some things are devolving.
Right, and some things are devolving, right?
So technically, not all things are evolving.
Can you name one thing? Can you name one thing that's devolving right now?
The sun.
Okay, so you believe that the sun is becoming less complex?
It's not. Of course, it's burning out. It's losing mass. It's losing the essence.
So do you believe
Hold
it's
up.
becoming? I'm asking, is it becoming less complex?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how is it losing complexity? Because it's losing mass?
It's losing the basic structure that comprises it that will ultimately end.
No, that's ridiculous. It's not losing its structure.
Listen carefully.
This guy's ridiculous. He has no idea what he's talking about.
I didn't even finish talking.
Losing his basic structure. Like, he's talking about he's knowledgeable in this. This guy's a joke. Like, whoever's listening to this guy, you guys are praying.
Let me ask you a question.
I got to call you to repentance.
Hold up. Let me ask you a question.
I can already tell you. I can tell
let
you
me
a
ask
joke.
you a question.
You're not going to let me talk, so I'm just going to call you to repentance.
Stop being disruptive.
And call it,
okay?
You're a joke, dude. You're a joke.
Stop being disruptive. This is the stupid behavior that religious people demonstrate when they cannot make a point.
This dude said that the sun's losing its structure.
This is the stupid behavior
He said the sun is losing its structure.
when they cannot keep up.
When
a religious person cannot keep up, they start doing that fake laughing thing because they think everybody is stupid. Bro, you can't keep up with the conversation. That's why you're behaving like that.
Can I fact check you on that?
That is why you're behaving like that.
Let's fact check that.
Or maybe you can keep quiet.
Hold on. I'm gonna look.
Or you can keep quiet. If not, I'm gonna drop you. I don't really have time for your stupidity. I wasn't even done talking, and you started behaving like you're possessed. If I put fuel in a car and I'm burning that fuel, how do I burn that fuel without that fuel losing its basic structure as a liquid sitting in my tank? Let me ask you a question. Answer this question. The fuel that the sun uses to burn is itself.
The sun is not losing its structure. Fact check.
Yo.
This guy's a joke.
Was that the totality of what I said?
Whoever's listening to this guy,
was that the totality of what I said?
I'm gonna call you to repentance because, as I already told you,
was that the totality of what I said? I'm gonna give you one more chance. If not, I'm dropping you. I'm gonna give you one more chance to behave like a Christian. If not, I'm dropping you.
You keep on.
Your
You keep on.
religion tells you to have self-control. Your
Guess
religion
what?
tells you to have
Guess what?
self-control.
My
Control
religion also
yourself.
calls me to call out nonsense.
Guess what? Go and do that in your church. Because I have the authority to remove you from this program right now. And your God can't stop me. Next guest. Typical Christian. Hello?
What's going on, brother?
Not much. Go straight to your point.
Oh yeah, man. You know what I'm saying, man? We over here just chilling. That's all. You know, I'm just listening to your guys' conversation, man. So what is it that you do believe in?
Nothing in particular.
So what is, you don't believe that your body has a soul?
I know that my body doesn't have a soul.
That it doesn't have a soul.
Because my body is the soul. If the soul is something, it will be my body.
Okay, so when you die, your body decays and
That's it. Just like I didn't exist before I was in my mother's womb.
or that we don't know, or that we don't have no memory of our life before this.
We know that we didn't exist before we were in our mother's womb.
Okay, sir. I don't know. That's it. That's all I
We know
want to
that.
ask you.
We
I
know
was
that.
curious as to what you believe in.
You don't need to mystify reality.
How do we know that though?
We study how we come about. We've studied the human
You
reproductive.
can't study something. You can't study something you can't see.
Yeah, you can see it. We can see how sperm and egg function. We can see how a human being develops in his mother's womb. We can see how a human being lives on earth. And we also see how a human being dies. And we can also see what happens to them after they die. We see it. It's very obvious. It's obvious. The problem is that most people are insecure about the fact that our existence is limited. So they have what we call death anxiety. So that's why they end up cooking up a delusion that will distract them from the fact that their time on this world will expire and they will become irrelevant. They want to be relevant beyond what they can perceive.
No, the end is only the beginning of something new. That's how I see it. I'm not afraid of death.
And guess what? For something new, not for you. Because what you are is limited to the functions of your body. Once your body starts functioning, what you are changes into a point where anything that comes after is irrelevant to you as a person who is conscious of himself.
I don't so much believe in the Bible. I'm kind of I don't really believe in religion at all. But I do believe in a higher power.
Do you know why you believe in a higher power?
Because I don't know. There's something greater than me. I didn't.
Do you know why you believe in a higher power?
Because I was told to.
No, you don't know yourself. You're ignorant about your own self.
No. Okay, so let me tell you this. What if I told you that I believe that I'm God? I believe that we are all gods.
Again,
we are all creators.
Guess what? And you can only believe that because you don't know yourself. So you lie to yourself about what you are because you don't actually have the actual knowledge of yourself. If you knew yourself, you know that you are a flesh and blood human being and you have to work hard to eat and you have to eat healthy so you can live as long as possible, but ultimately you will die and that's it. That's what you are. That's what I am. That knowledge will create a sense of urgency, a sense of diligence, a sense of safety, the need for time management, caution. It will show you how important it is for you to be diligent. It would make you not take certain things for granted.
But that's all man-made. Time management, all that shit's man-made. Those
are systems that man has made in order to be able to cope with the world as it is, and they work. Anyone who doesn't follow that formula doesn't survive.
Or they created time for time, the length of time, schedule for rituals.
No, sir. Yes. No, sir. What is time?
Time is an idea.
Sir, all concepts are ideas. But what is time beyond just the idea? What is the idea of time? Tell me, what's the idea of time?
Measurement, numbers, time, passing.
What is time?
I don't know. What is time?
The duration of an event.
Right. A life. Duration of our lives.
Sir, the duration of an event. Now, how do we measure the duration of any event?
With numbers.
We use units of measurements. Kind of like a ruler, right? I want to measure the distance between Los Angeles and New York. I want to use a unit that's not just realistically able to give me what I need to know, but it's consistent enough to where somebody else can come and use the same unit and get the same number. Any intelligent person in this world that wants to measure the distance from New York to Los Angeles will get the exact same number if they use, regardless of which unit of measurements they use. If you use kilometers, and we all use kilometers, we're going to get the same. If you use miles, we're all going to get the same. If you use inches, you get the same. You know what that consistency does? It solves the problem of knowing that distance. So, yeah, we did not create time necessarily. Time exists because we can see the flow of events. But naturally, in our brains, we cannot consistently measure it. So we've made tools that allow us to consistently measure that time, like a clock. And then we've created these units of measurement that allow us to measure times in different increments. The smallest unit that we use to measure time on the daily basis is seconds. 60 of those seconds will give you the measurement we call a minute. 60 of those minutes will give you a measurement we call an hour. 60 of those hours, 24 of those hours will give you a measurement we call a day. And then 360 of those days, depending on when you are or what calendar you're using, will give you a year.
But what I'm trying to say,
10 of those years will give you a decade. 50 of those years will give you a jubilee. 100 of those years will give you a century. 1,000 of those years will give you a millennium. And because our lifespan doesn't stretch beyond that, we don't necessarily have to obsess beyond that. You know what that does? That creates consistency among us. I can talk to you about how long I spent to do something, and you know exactly what I did, how long it took me. I can tell you how long it would take for you to go through a dangerous experience, and you can use that knowledge to safely navigate. It's very practical. It's not mystical.
why does the calendars change? Why has the calendar changed?
We change it because just like everything else, when we make a tool, we keep thinking of how to make the tools better. Right? Like, for example, when we didn't have no engines, we used to have animals drag us around. It wasn't as efficient to accomplish the things we wanted. So, working together at different points in time in different ways, the engine was developed. Now, we don't need animals anymore. Animals can rest. We have engines. But the engines are consuming a lot of fuel. So, we need efficient fueling. Eventually, we've gotten to electric cars. Look at where we're going now, right? Before, we used to get on boats to travel across the sea. That wasn't efficient. So we thought, what if we could travel through the air? Definitely, we see the birds traveling through the air. Let's make something that can go through the air. We need thrust. We need a power source. We need lift. And we need the ability to take off and land. Through working at different points in time in different ways, we're able to discover flight as we know it today. Same thing with weapons of war. In ancient times, people used to swing swords around with bows and arrows. Eventually, somebody came up with gunpowder. Before you knew, now we have intercontinental ballistic missiles, hydrogen bombs that can destroy entire cities and nations. That's how human beings evolve at the intellectual level. This is practical. This is the world as it is. This is the world as it's useful. Any other perception of the world is useless. Only good enough for our entertainment. We do categorize certain things in our world as entertainment and certain things we consider useful. Storytelling, sports, movies. We even allow ourselves to go into intentional delusions for our entertainment. That's why when you and I sit in the movie theater and we're watching Superman, we can only enjoy Superman if we briefly pretend like we don't know that there's a cameraman looking, taking that video, and that Superman is not really moving through the sky. That is just a green screen. If you're in a movie theater, that's why people who make movies don't enjoy their movies like people who were not there when the movies were being made. You know all the tricks already. And the rest of us know the tricks enough. So when we sit in there,
Religion is a weapon. There's no God. Religion is a weapon that was used for the fucking for the rulers of the day to control the masses.
listen carefully. If religion is the weapon, God is the bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So God, religion, the idea of a higher power, the idea of a creator, these are all weapons of submission. Because ultimately, because those gods are invisible, you're going to have to end up submitting to the man who told you that those gods were real in the first place, to the man who told you that that supreme being was real in the first place.
So you don't
That's
be
why
you don't believe in the tablets, the Anunnaki, the Samaritan tablets.
if the Anunnakis are real, the only authority they have over us is not that different from the authority our governments or kings in this world have over us. We can choose to serve them or we can choose to rebel. Naturally, based on our knowledge of self, we don't have any particular reason in existence to bow to anyone, and we can choose to live or we can choose to die. So if the Anunnakis ever come back, we don't have to treat them as supreme beings. We can negotiate. What do you guys want from us? You want to do business? Fine, let's do business. You want to fight? Let's fight. Simple as that. That's why we develop weapons. What's most important to us is our survival, not our submission to something else. And because we have the ability to improve collectively, our goal is to keep improving our ability to solve problems, no matter how difficult that problem is. If that problem is an all powerful being, then we would just have to become all powerful to solve that problem. And humanity would perish and go extinct the day we believe that we can't do that. Until now, we've overcome every problem we believe we could overcome and that we were willing to put our brains together to solve. There's no reason for us to assume that there'll be one in the future we're not going to be able to. In times of peace, we continue to make preparation and grow, taking into consideration all possible outcomes. As the governments of this world see today, our nuclear weapons is not for ourselves. Those nuclear weapons is because all the governments of the world at the highest level have considered the possibility of external civilizations. All right? That's why ever since we made those weapons, every nation has 10 times more than they need to destroy the whole planet. But we keep them still. You ever wondered why? Looks like it was your time to go anyway. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Free from the delusions of the world.